one, it makes absolutely zero sense. Guys, thank you so much for joining us. We're here representing Austin Live and Local, the news outlet for this generation. My name is Daniel. I'm with Constantine Media. We represent partner-level streamers and gaming pros, and today I am with representatives from Restream.io, a local Austin company that is changing how we stream games. Guys, would you mind introducing yourselves?
Sure. My name is Angelou. I'm the CISO of Restream, and this is...
And my name is Anya, and I'm Global Marketing Manager for Restream.
Thank you guys for joining us. We are extremely excited to talk to you because you guys are doing things that really, whenever Twitch came along, weren't really possible, and everyone wanted to figure out what's the best way to grow. So what Restream does, for you guys that don't know, is you're actually able to stream to several different sources. So let's say you're starting out on Mixer or Caffeine or Twitch or wherever, you're able to then stream to all of those different sources at the same time without having to repost something that you've created. So you're doing a live stream and then being able to reach all of those. And then a really cool update that they created, which is something that hadn't been done by their competition, is they've actually created a chat where you can combine all of those resources together. So all of those different sources, all those different chats combined into one, which allows you to have a more united community around what's going on. So anything else you guys wanted to add that you guys have kind of created updates and things that people should know about that I might not be able to touch on?
Well, I think you got it covered. Definitely chat aggregator is one of our biggest features that gamers and streamers love because that allows them to engage their community and interact without being distracted and having a bunch of different windows open in order to respond to things. We have another couple of features that are also very helpful, like scheduler and analytics. So that's definitely another couple of things that help us to empower those streamers and alter their game when it comes to streaming.
And just a heads up, guys, we will go into especially the analytics side of it, just because it's very interesting and it's something that, you know, the competition hasn't done, and we want to see, you know, how a company, a local Austin company, is able to actually differentiate themselves and really take it a step above. One of my first questions, which is something kind of near and dear to my heart because we have used Restream and XSplit, both the just kind of experimenting with them for our company. And so my passion is reading contracts, which makes absolutely zero sense for anyone because it's really boring. But I like doing it, and I've read through Twitch's terms and conditions, and you know, they don't allow you to stream to multiple different sources if you're affiliated or a partner. So what's your take on this? What do you guys think about that?
Yeah, I can take this one.
Sure.
So first of all, I would like to make sure that everyone knows that we have a lot of respect to Twitch and what they did for the community. I think it's a great company and it's a great opportunity to bring streamers together and empower them. We are aware of this policy, and our position on that is that it should be up to user. So every streamer needs to make a decision whether they want to become a partner and affiliate. And once they made that decision, they definitely should follow the policies and rules of the company. So that's the same thing that we will require from them if they decided to partner with us or any other organization, right? So at the same time, Restream is a global company, so we treat all users and all platforms equally. We know that there are a lot of different opportunities for streamers to monetize their audience. That includes working with brands directly, accepting donations from their viewers and followers, and there are probably some other ways as well. So our position is follow the rules, always be on top of your game, but choose your partners, choose your the best way for you to be successful. And we are always on the side of streamers, and we're always there to support and help them to grow their audience and be the best streamer that they could possibly be.
And we definitely appreciate it. One other question that kind of was something that we hadn't discussed before, and that was spurred from what you'd said. Do you think that, you know, in the near future, next, 3 to 5 years, potentially, that there's going to be a monetization method from Restream for the individuals that use it?
It is possible. Again, like right now, we are always on the side of empowering the streamer to reach maximum audience and engage it in the best way possible. So while we do not offer any particular tools and elements that let them monetize within the platform, it's up to them how they want to interact with their followers and how they want to engage their people. So we might consider something as long as we get requests and as long as we hear something from the streamers, we can always
awesome.
Implement that.
I'm sure we'd be looking forward to it. And then do you see Restream ever being able to partner with Twitch to change those rules that have been implemented that kind of, I mean, you're not going to say it, but I can say it, potentially it limits things, which might not be a bad thing, which I can understand also from a business perspective is something that you'd want to make sure that, you're able to take care of your audience and make sure to keep your market share and everything else. But do you think that there's ever going to be a partnership between you guys and them in order to potentially reverse those rules that are in place?
So as much as these kind of rules and terms are completely up to Twitch because they are the best people to judge and decide what works for them, we as Restream are extremely open to any kind of opportunities to partner, to do co-marketing, to work with our audience, because we 100% understand that we are working with the same people. Our community is the same community, so we are absolutely happy to join efforts with Twitch and make that community more successful.
Sounds great. So we're going to switch gears here, and I have a couple of questions here for Nick, because his background is in security. And so really when you're looking at the grand scheme of everything, esports in general, it's absolutely all digital. And, it is transitioning a little bit with the fact that we have arenas now, so it's becoming a little bit more personal, but you still have those aspects of hacking and digital malcontents, I'll call them. And so your background is in security, and with a previous company, Sectify, Restream hired you in order to be able to protect their assets. And so my question is, can you talk about the concerns and potential solutions in regards to streaming?
Sure, not a problem. Well, as everyone knows, security is what's number one on the radar now for companies and larger organizations trying to protect themselves and also protect user data. So there's a common theme to always limit what you, as a company, need, limit the data that you collect, and as much as you can, protect your infrastructure as well as you can to prevent against threats. So because Restream is a organization which we stream globally, it's very important that none of our users get compromised. I mean, you don't see a news station getting hacked. We're essentially almost the same thing, where we provide news, we provide different types of content, not only gaming content. So this becomes a source of media, not directly through us, but indirectly through us. But at the same time, we have to be able to protect our streamers' content. Okay, and so kind of diving into that, you guys have expanded your operations into Ukraine, specifically Kiev. What does that location do specifically for the company? And are they expected to also have the same security measures if they're doing streaming for that part of the world? Absolutely, yeah. We are that part of the country where the team is operating in is definitely the technical team. Okay. That's where most of our technical talent comes from, and they're extremely bright, largely untapped talent base over there, and part of the co-founders are also from there. Yes, so that's where the company started from. If you really want to get real with it, and they grew their network, and they had an awesome talent pool from previous ventures that they developed, and that's where it started. So when it comes to addressing whether or not having the same security measures, definitely. It doesn't matter where you are, we try to employ the best security measures. In fact, that's what I'm here to do and push forward. Sure hope so. So this question, because I apologize to our audience if no one here is political or history buff, but feel free also not to answer it. But with recent transitions in Ukraine and the things that happen in that part of the world geopolitically, do you guys worry at all that you might have to shift operations to a neighboring country to avoid certain impacts? If it comes to it, yes. But we don't really like to think about what's going to happen geopolitically because we're a global company. Okay. So in that sense, whatever is happening politically, Restream is agnostic towards that. Okay, perfect. Just wanted to jump into it because that was a personal little query of mine. And then for Anya, do you foresee the Restream brand finding a niche within the industry that we're in right now, inside of streaming, inside of gaming? Do you see Restream focusing on esports athletes, casters, or streamers, or is there any sort of specific area that you guys really are going to tailor all your resources towards?
Sure, absolutely. So when we talk about our streamers and our users, we always refer to them as gamers and content creators. Yep. So we do not, while gamers are definitely a very big portion of our users and probably our major source of new people who are using the platform, there is definitely a lot of other verticals and fields where content creation is happening. So that's why, while we are now seeing a lot of gamers and we're focusing on gaming community big time because this is the biggest pool that we have, we at the same time did stream solar eclipse through Restream.
Awesome.
We do have people with that are affiliated with religious churches and different communities of that kind who are using service to reach maximum amount of audience and eyeballs. We do work with entertainment, with actual sports such as basketball, football. And so for us, the world is our playground. But of course, gamers was one of our first kind of target audience in our first vertical. And we have very special love to them. And we definitely want to always develop and grow and support that community first. And then, of course, we'll go wide as much as we can.
So just a follow up to that, again, it came to me as you were answering the question, and I apologize.
Yeah.
But so with certain criticisms that Facebook's faced as they grew, do you guys expect to kind of see some of that? And what's are there safeties in place to forestall any of those sorts of situations arising?
In terms of safety,
in terms of politics, in terms of certain content that might not be true.
Yeah, that makes sense. So we definitely, I can definitely see how Restream can be viewed as a platform that spreads out any kind of information, because that's the world of internet. That's the world of social, right? Yep. Right now, everyone is a media outlet. Like, as long as you have a camera and access to internet, you can go ahead and get wild, right? If you want to. So we understand the threats of that, of course. Right now, our biggest hope and plan is to work with our community and make sure that we deliver our message, our culture, our position on what's right and what's wrong, and what kind of culture we want to cultivate among our users. And we hope that that's going to keep us together. Our users are amazing. We've been walking this floor in these t-shirts. People are coming, running across the hallway saying, "Oh, you guys with Restream, we love your product, we love your service. You guys are such a great team." We have customer support people who are complete rock stars and respond in 3 minutes to any questions that you have. So we believe that integrity of what we call kind of like a Restream movement that we're trying to create versus just the service that we provide is going to keep us rather safe. Of course, there are always bad guys here and there, but we believe that overall we can contain that, and we can stay on the positive and progressive side of this.
Now, going back to people running up to you guys, not to delineate from your message, but do you think that might be because you're two attractive people, or because of the company you're with?
Well, that's all just, yeah.
I'm just curious.
Our beautiful faces, that's
look,
all that happens.
Look, it's okay. It's okay. That's why we have you guys on camera. That's why we're here. You want that beautiful face in front of the company. So just to kind of follow up, so you guys really do want to cast that wide net, both in esports, both in stream gaming, and then you want to be able to be that news outlet. Which sector right now that's smaller within the company do you see growing outside of the esports and gaming realm? What do you see, which specific area? And you mentioned religious, but which one's growing the most for you guys?
Well, I'm not sure I have the numbers. Do you know, what is our second most popular?
I haven't paid attention to those numbers yet. We are growing so much in different categories that lots of pieces of the pie are shrinking. Okay. But just because it's shrinking, doesn't mean it's still not growing. Yeah. Just not growing as much. And so that pie is pretty big when it comes to different types of content. I would say definitely some of the religious portion of content is coming up pretty quickly. We're getting a lot more of that.
Entertainment, I would say. General entertainment, marketers, anyone who is creating creative content, engaging the audience, and tells their story. So in entertaining way is definitely.
What other sources do you see popping up aside from, we obviously know, Twitch is big, but it has its limitations. We see Mixer, as being very large, and then also Facebook. And I believe you guys recently got a partnership with Facebook that previously wasn't there. Am I mistaken?
We have the
ability to do it.
We have the ability to work with Facebook, but no official partnership yet. Okay.
Because that was something we were looking at. I know, so because our company manages streamers, they've looked at a lot of different resources, and XSplit had some sort of agreement with them to where there wasn't the $15 fee that Facebook charges in order for a Restream release. So I was just curious in regards to that. But with that wide net, and with being within gaming. Anya, so which game do you see standing the test of time? Which game do you think is actually going to go the length of the next 20 years and actually be a competitive game? Since
Oh gosh, 20 years.
You're at an esports event.
Right. So just for the record, I'm not super professional gamer of any kind. I just happen.
She's joking. She goes by the name of Anya. Awesome.
No, I do have quite a bit of experience in the industry because before joining Restream, I actually spent several years being a journalist, just like you, and interviewing people and covering events like E3, GDC, and stuff like that. So I did a lot of homework, and there is this term that is popular now, like you can beat the game on YouTube. So that means that you don't really play, you don't really get to touch the joystick or anything, but you actually follow the development of character and levels and everything. So I was big time that kind of gamer. I'm a watcher, like I'm a consumer of what Restream is doing for their creators, right? So for me, I personally like games that have strong characters, that have interesting story, that are trying to raise some social problems and things like this. My absolute favorite is Horizon, right? Like that's a great game. And everyone loves it, and it brings these female characters in a strong position of like, this women are capable and they're doing great things, and they have this great story and the graphics and everything. But when it comes to esports, so those kind of games are more like your pleasure, like your fun, your personal engagement. When it comes to sports, I was extremely impressed with what Overwatch is becoming, specifically because Blizzard is doing an amazing job by investing in those athletes and creating those professional leagues and supporting those gamers. So I do believe that Overwatch has really bright future. And when it comes to classics, I'm definitely a CSGO girl. So Counter-Strike is something that I understand.
I'm actually glad you said that because I don't game anymore, not because I don't want to game, it's actually because I get a little bit of motion sickness now. It's kind of weird. But the game that's, for me, it's been around the longest was Counter-Strike. I was, the 1.x versions back in the day, all blocky, all bricks, everyone's pointing bricks at each other.
I understand. So just for everyone's kind of edification, basically all three of us are from Europe somehow. We have that look, we have that blood. But I would go back and visit my cousins in Bosnia, and we'd hang out, and they would only have like the first CSGO. And so like I would just sit down or not CSGO, but Counter-Strike, and I would sit down and play, and like I'd never touched it before, but strange enough, Europe, which still also has one of the largest markets, is kind of where all that kicked off. I mean, even for me. And I didn't get into it after the fact, but I mean, it's a great game, even with the pixelation that was hurting the eyes.
I know. It's so painful. Actually, segue story real quick.
Ooh, let's do it.
I introduced some of my cousins in Greece to Counter-Strike 1.6, but they didn't have internet connection. So they only learned how to play against bots. And it was hilarious, actually, when they finally came to visit me in the U.S. And we actually played Counter-Strike 1.6 against real people. And it was really interesting to see them and their frustrations.
Oh my God, mind blown.
How do you win?
But yeah, they learned really quickly that you have to play with real human beings to actually be competitive.
So I was your cousins for almost every game. I love stories, and so I played COD. COD 1 and 2 to me had, Modern Warfare 1 and 2 had the best storylines for me. I just absolutely adore those stories. I've replayed them 3 or 4 times. Like I love it. Now, I am awful at multiplayer. I mean, absolutely awful. My entire team, the only reason that they create videos about me is because they're all failed videos with Benny Hill music. That's literally all they do. But my brother, because, when you're younger, you have to beat your older brother for some reason, goes in. Yeah, he played the summer. He was a soccer player. He's like, I got the summer off. Like, I'm going to do this. He got one game where he used the sniper and had 45-3 kill-death ratio.
Not bad.
And at that point, I was just like, I quit. I hadn't played Call of Duty for like 4 years after that. I just couldn't take it anymore. I was like, all right, fine. I'll just go do my own RPG thing. It's okay. And he stopped too. Like as soon as he beat me, he was like, nah, it's not fun anymore. Absolute jerk. Siblings. If you're a younger sibling, don't be a jerk. That's all I'm saying. I've got strong feelings about it. It's fine. Follow-up question about the company itself, kind of to draw us back in. Having launched your analytics program, do you see the feature allowing you to distance yourself from your competitors
question. We get that a lot more than often. A lot more nowadays, now that we released it. And as one of our co-founders likes to say, and we follow the words of Peter Thiel, like, the goal is to not compete. So we're generating tools to be able to differentiate ourselves from everybody else and work out partnerships where we can work together for a common solution and to make everyone happy. That's the way you become successful.
Okay, so you guys are just kicking butt. Got it. Check. Well, those are the questions that I had. Do you guys want to go into anything else in regards to esports, personal lives, and/or Restream? If you guys want to share, your most embarrassing moment, this is the time. We can do this.
Now?
Right now. Or we can make an embarrassing moment. We have a camera. This is all available on the internet. Go on the internet to watch these guys embarrass themselves. Just kidding. They're not going to do it for us. Not now. Next week.
Or it could be happening right now as we speak.
It could be. Did you pee your pants just now? Stand up for the camera. Guys, he did it. He's got tan shorts on. It's visible everywhere. It's okay. It's okay. He's a C-level guy. It's fine.
They're used to it.
Guys, I wanted to thank you again for joining us. Again, my name is Daniel with Constantine Media here repping Austin Live and Local. Check out these guys. Make sure to follow the podcast. Make sure to check out all of the best news in Austin and in esports with these guys. Feel free to check us out on Twitter at ESConstantine and on Facebook and Twitch at Constantine Media. You guys, please feel free to plug in any sort of social media that you've got going on.
Well, yeah, thank you so much for having us. It was a pleasure. And for all the streamers out there, please keep streaming and being awesome.
Just remember, Restream.io. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.